Proper ladies do not entertain men they never met after dark. I don't care if it's a first date, if it's someone that you're seeing as a client. It's unbecoming of a lady to entertain men after dark. It shows no class, no standards, and it shows that a woman has no respect for herself, her value as a woman, and it makes men disrespect her also. I am a big believer in being kind to men. That also means that on a first date, a man should not have to invest money on the date. I've seen these videos on TikTok and stuff of women saying, well, I'm not going to get all dressed up to go meet a guy for coffee. I got to do my hair. I got to do this. I got to do that. Well, don't do that. Do whatever you want to do. The purpose of a date is to get to know the man. Are you interested in the man? You have to go because you're interested in meeting someone and getting to know someone. Guys, if there's a woman who refuses to meet you for a walk in the park, in a nice park, in a safe area on a first date or for coffee, I would not even entertain a woman like that. A woman ought to contribute to your life and not drain you of your finances, use you, or disrespect you. So I am speaking of a woman acting like a lady and a man acting like a gentleman, and I think we've lost that in our society, and that's why so many women don't want to date and so many men don't want to date, because we've lost the magic. We've lost the kindness, the interest in each other, and the magic and the allure and the ritual of courtship and some standards and boundaries. I think that women are showing way too much stuff on their Instagram. They're leading with their sexuality. Like I'm wearing right now, like a very simple dress. Okay, it's very feminine. It's a little ruffly here, a little ruffly here. And a guy should be able to get turned on seeing me in this dress in a grocery store. I don't have to, this should be up a little higher. I don't have to show anything. It's just the essence of a woman, the movement of the fabric, the way she walks. It should turn a man on, and it does. I also say that a healthy man should get turned on seeing a woman in a Playboy type centerfold photo. He should not need more than that. If a man needs more than that, he's got a problem with porn. He's got a problem with healthy sensuality. On my Just for fans, I do a lot of very erotic, healthy sensuality stuff. And in some of my videos, I don't show everything. Men like to be healthy men. They like to be teased. They like to imagine. They like to fantasize. And they like a little bit of mystery. The mystery, that's part of the fun. If you can't see the beauty of a woman in her clothing or the attractiveness of a man that's got dressed up to meet you for coffee, that's inviting you out, that's interested in you. If you can enjoy a man like that, you should not be dating, ladies. So, again, by having some kind of standards and boundaries for how we interact, that's what boundaries do. They protect us and they protect other people from us. So a boundary is about what I allow in, and also how I treat other people and how I talk. So it goes both ways. If you feel angry, it means that your boundary was violated. And if you feel ashamed, it means you violated your own boundary in how you treated someone. So just use these as learning opportunities. So where I was going with this is that I do not think that proper ladies are inviting men over after dark. Sure, you can do that. You can invite men over after dark. You can go get meth, for all I care. You can do whatever you want. You can get yourself into debt. You can get drunk every night. You can fuck whoever you want. But are you going to thrive? Are you going to be healthy? That's the real question here. So if you go back to some of my older videos, look at my bikini videos, like I'm pretty hot and fit, but I don't have to flaunt that on my videos. I don't have to use my sexuality to pull in men. There's more to a woman than just her body. And also, men who watch a lot of porn and who sexualize women, they're not good in bed. To be good in bed, I'll tell you what's good in bed. I spent 9 years as an escort. And so, what makes men good in bed is being in touch with their emotions and their sensuality. They have to have empathy. They need empathy because when they have empathy, they notice what you like. They notice how you respond. They notice how your body responds. And they know from having been with other women what women like. They're not coming up to you and just grabbing your pussy. They're not inviting themselves over or just being very forward or touching you in a way that they know you're not going to like. That's what predators do. No. Another thing I want to say, guys, the reason you should never spend a lot of money on a woman on a first date is because the only reason a man would spend a lot of money on a first date is either he's on a woman that you don't know, he's either love bombing you, so he's a predator or narcissist, he's trying to impress you, he's a people pleaser, or he lacks self-confidence. It's a red flag. I went through a period of time in my life a few years ago where I was like, I'm not going to go out with guys at all unless they take me to dinner. It's my screening tool. And that backfired because they were all simps. None of them was ever worth going out with again. Unfortunately, they were all simps trying to gain my approval. A confident, healthy man is not going to lure you in. He's not going to try to impress you. He's not going to try to love bomb you. He's going to be himself. And a healthy man is not going to want to invest money in a woman he's never met. The same way as a healthy woman isn't going to want to open her body, open the dress, or have some guy over at night that she's never met. Now I will tell you this. High quality men are turned on by, like, I'm just a natural, like, motherly type of woman. I want the kind of guy that's attracted to a woman like me. Sure, I can go around in sexy outfits, like I have such a good body. I'm like, the guys that are my Just For fans, I can't get enough. But if I have to show that to get a guy, I'm just gonna get riffraff, fuck boys, and men who look at me as like, what do I want to say, like not a vagina. I was gonna use something more fun. They look at me like a fuckhole. A fuckable, fuck toy. But if you can present yourself, ladies, if you can present yourself as a whole woman, they will see you as a whole woman. They will see you for who you are. And if you can learn to appreciate men, like men, men will like you also. We have to start to appreciate men and like men, not take advantage of them, not plunder them for their money. So a guy asking me on a coffee date or a date on like a trail, I would go on a trail. There are a lot of people on the trail. I would feel safe, okay? I would totally go. Just make it interesting, make it adventurous, plan a fun, adventurous date. Don't be boring. You cannot be boring. You don't have to lead with your wallet, guys. Never lead with your wallet. And ladies, don't lead with your sexual access. You're not empowering yourself by spreading your legs. That's not empowering. That's not seeing your value. Now, an exception could be made, like after my divorce, I went through this kind of like sexual exploration, and I had a specific purpose in mind with every guy that I fucked, and there were like 100 of them. Because I was married to a guy who couldn't get hard anymore for the last like 10 years of our marriage. And he always lasted for like a half a minute or a minute, and he always kept his eyes closed. And I was like so curious. I just so badly wanted to explore my sexuality with someone who was actually hard, who actually liked to be emotionally attuned during sex, kept his eyes open, lasted longer than a half a minute, because I wanted to experience my sexuality. Unfortunately, I felt like I needed a man to do it. And it didn't work for me. I got emotionally entangled with guys I didn't even want to date. I wasn't able to pull it off, but I had an intention and I did them all sober. So I realized it doesn't work for me, and there are some women who are able to do it, but they're not thriving. You don't have to lead with your sexual access. You know, like, I just think we need more people to say, yes, we all like sex, but let's have some kind of a ritual around it and some boundaries and some standards and requirements. And a high quality man is going to like you better if you have some standards and some boundaries and a little bit of a fucking backbone, you know? Vaginas are interchangeable. Cocks are interchangeable, but people are not. Every person is unique and valuable. So that's just what I want to say. But again, coming back to the original part of my video is, do not invite men over after dark, ladies. Do not go to men's homes that you do not know, whether it's for work or whether it's in your private life. It's just not presenting yourself as a woman who actually values herself. Just act like you value yourself, okay? That's all. That's all I want to say. I should make a channel called Motherly Advice because I'm 62 now and I feel like I grew up at a time when before all the smartphones, before a lot of men grew up watching porn. Any man born after 1996 probably has a porn addiction. These smartphones have ruined children's brains, and I was watching a video interview on trigonometry with Dr. Jonathan Haidt, a social psychologist, and he talks about how they found that children born after 1996 have a lot more difficulties with social interaction, with learning, with attention span, and it's because they're always on their phones. During puberty, children's brains are developing at an incredible pace, and that is shortchanged if they're on their phones all the time. They don't develop the social skills, they don't develop the brain development that they need in the real world, interacting with things. And he actually recommends that children do not get a smartphone until they're in high school. And because that's so hard to do, that he came up with a plan is that you only need like 30% of the children in your child's life, in their community or their school, to also have parents with that same mindset, because then they're not the only ones who are not getting that. Like when my kids were little, I was not like Wonder Bread. That is just, everyone was eating Wonder Bread and Twinkies in the kids' lunchbox. And my kids went to a pretty well-to-do area with their schooling. And I gave them like whole wheat bread, pumpernickel bread, and all that. And for a while, they're like, Mom, why do we have to eat that? Everybody else gets Twinkies. And I said, you're actually better off. I explained it to them. You're better off because I'm giving you healthy food and you're going to have a healthy body. Like, these kids are not as well off. Even during the sports games, these kids would play sports, and then for a snack, I would bring like some kind of fruit. We would cut vegetables, maybe crackers and cheese. And all these parents would bring donuts. I'm like, what is wrong with people? They're playing sports, finally an opportunity to not shove a bunch of sugar down their throats, and you're bringing donuts and all kinds of candy. And this was a well-to-do area. This was like maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe. Like a lot of the people that I come across in my life were very healthy at an older age. They eat very clean. So maybe these people eat better now. Maybe they didn't know back then, but never be afraid to educate your children on the advantages of doing something a certain way. And to this day, all my kids still eat super healthy. They eat organic, they eat home cooked meals. Like, they have kept that habit. So, you know, if they wanted to eat differently, they certainly could, but they see the benefit of that and the benefit in how they feel. So anyway, don't be afraid of going up against the crowd. Like, I have something of value to share with people based on having grown up before the age of the internet and smartphones, being married, having been a mom, having been an escort in the past, which I call a companion or confidant, and being reasonably intelligent, having lived in another country. So I bring kind of a unique set view into my videos and into my work. I grew up at a time when I grew up in Germany playing outside. That's what we did. I did not have to do any chores. I didn't have to cook or do anything. Childhood was for play. You know, Waldorf education that comes from Germany. We played outside. I climbed in trees. I wrote stories. We made pretend movies and pretend plays. We built forts. You know, we rode our bikes all over the neighborhood. We did like dress up and plays. Like I did so many dress up creative things. Took a lot of pictures. I had photo albums. Like I developed my creativity. I was bored a lot, so I had to daydream. I spent a lot of time outdoors playing, developing social skills. Like, you know, and we're taking that away from children when we hand them a phone as a babysitter. Like you're actually hurting your children when you do that. But anyway, I grew up at a time when childhood was very normalized. I had a stay-at-home mom, so I was not like what they call a latchkey kid. So I grew up very privileged, actually. Also because I'm white, I didn't experience any racism. And because I was reasonably intelligent in school, people looked up to me. So I grew up very privileged. So I have like a very different viewpoint, but I think I love watching YouTube videos with a lot of different viewpoints. And I'm not saying that I'm right. However, I have a viewpoint that's very valid, that's based on love and kindness. So I think it's worth considering. And I watch a lot of people with different viewpoints. I like to watch people who have different political views. My only requirement is I will only listen to people who speak from a place of kindness and love. Like when they are very hateful or very mean and angry, I don't want to take that energy in because that's just their own trauma that they're just reenacting. There's no need for that. Like we can share our opinions with healthy boundaries. Again, healthy boundaries, like what comes out of me. I am responsible for what I bring out of me. And someone commented the other day that I delivered a political topic with such joy or something. I've been working on that because all the men that I watch that do the political stuff, they speak very slowly, they're very measured, they're very calm. And I tend to speak really fast. Like, I gotta slow down more and talk like these guys. But then some people say my videos are too long. I think this is what I'll do, actually. And someone else said I should introduce myself at the beginning of each video. So if I introduce myself at the beginning of each video and I speak slowly, I will have done something good. And then if people think my videos are too long, they can play them back at double the speed. But there is value in slowing down and listening to longer form videos. Eckhart Tolle purposely speaks slowly, purposely, because it creates a different feeling in the listener when it's slow, with pauses between the words. Now that I'm speaking slower, do you feel any different? I'll try this again about the boundaries. So if I were to say, this is Sharzad Morgan, and I believe women should not be entertaining men in our homes after dark. Men should not be spending money on a woman they don't know on a first date. A woman has to earn the man wanting to pay, that he can afford it and he wants to, based on her appreciation of him and her investment in him, her responsiveness to him, whether he wants to, not to impress her, not to love bomb her, but because he in his heart wants to, based on how she's treated him. And a woman ideally has sex with a man based on how he has treated her over time, respectfully, with adventure and sexiness and good boundaries. Like, she's just so turned on by him, and she wants to, not to impress him, not to get his attention, but because he has warmed her heart bit by bit by bit over time. And we've lost that magic. It's called being embodied, you guys. It's called being embodied. If you really ask yourself, ladies, if you're inviting a man over that you don't know, that's got to be coming from the head. It can't be coming from your body. Like, I feel safe and excited and open to this man that I don't know. No, no, no. I think you're bypassing. I'm not going to gaslight you. You're not being embodied. Do you feel safe and in your heart open to such a man? You know? So that's going to wrap up this video. I invite you to join my members channel. It's only $4.99 a month or $5 a month. And I talk about more sexual stuff based on my work as a bookkeeper that I'm not going to share with just anonymous people on the public, okay? I'm not. So if you want to have access to that, you're welcome to sign up. If you don't want it, that's fine too, but that's where I go into more personal things and juicy things, and that is going to be behind a paywall only. My Just for Fans is behind a paywall. I do not believe that children should be able to see porn. I believe all porn should be behind a paywall. And that's me being embodied. You know, it just feels right to me. And so you do what feels right for you. If you're happy with this content, please keep subscribing to my channel. I make money off the ads. And so again, thank you so much for watching my video.